Hi, I'm Scarlett, a second year primary education student at York St John University, and I wanted to talk a little bit about budgeting. So budgeting is something that you probably at least want to consider a little bit before you come to university. I definitely think if, like me, you didn't really think about it too much, it might come as a bit of a shock when you do start uni and realise that you really need to be careful with your money. The first thing that I would recommend doing is getting a student bank account. So there's lots of different providers, bank accounts that you can get. But for example, I have a Santander one and you get a free rail card. I switched from NatWest where you get some money. Sometimes it's only in first year, but also, if you're a current student and you want those benefits, you can switch student bank accounts. Something that I personally do is I give myself a weekly budget. So I send a certain amount of money every single Sunday, and then I have that money throughout the week so I know what I've got left. And then I have a normal bank account where I have my savings and just kind of my normal money. For food shopping, for example, I used to live really near Lidl, but I live a little bit further away now. I do still go there quite a bit because it is arguably the kind of cheapest supermarket, and things like Lidl Plus, which is like a loyalty app, you can get free sweet treats and like 15% off certain items that you buy. But something that me and my friends do now is we'll go to the food shop together and then we'll get an Uber back and split it so we don't have to pay for delivery. And we kind of go every few weeks, get a big food shop, and then you're kind of bulk spending so you don't have to think too much about food throughout the week and buying those little bits, because that's what can really add up. For nights out, for example, me and my friends make sure to do pre's, so we have pre-drinks before we go out, and then we'll normally kind of go to a student bar or a student pub where they do things like Mixer deals. So Mixer is an app that you can get, and it basically gives you like 15% off drinks, and then you can get free drinks, so it's kind of a bit cheaper and you don't spend as much money on a night out. Something that I kind of fell into the trap doing is not having anything when I came to uni and kind of buying it as I saw it, because for example, so an Aura, I didn't have an Aura when I moved to uni and all the cheaper ones were sold out, so I had to buy a bit of a more expensive one when I got here. So maybe consider kind of start early, think about what you're going to need for university, and then that'll kind of help you with your spending. Also, being in York, it is a little bit of a more expensive city, and for example, I walk past the Christmas markets every day at the moment and I always want to buy something from there, but personally I just kind of think, could I get this for cheaper? Do I really need that sweet treat every single day? And just kind of consider little things like that. You obviously don't have to, not have a fun lifestyle or go out. Finally, jobs. So I personally do have a part-time retail job, and then I also work for uni. So I'm a student ambassador. I help do open days and interviews and things like that, which is kind of a first come first served, so it's not exactly really consistent, but it's a good use of money when you don't necessarily have time for set hours in a contracted job. I also make these videos. I definitely think when you come to uni, if you are interested in getting a job, working for YSJ is a really great way to do it, because you also can kind of pick and choose what shifts you want to do, so you have enough time for other things. I, for example, work in retail. I only have a 4-hour contract, so I can kind of do a little bit less when I go on placement, and I can kind of organise it around my life. And I definitely think that if you kind of want to make your budget a bit bigger, then getting a part-time job is definitely something you should look at.